Hi, I'm Carrie with So Darn Fun. It just dawned on me that some of you might be trying to finish some last-minute Christmas projects and you might be needing to turn a tie or a sash. Are you still using a knitting needle to do those corners? Well, I'm gonna let you in on one of my secrets because I've got a better way. Quick practical tip number 5 is how to turn a really nice crisp corner. Stay tuned. Hold the intro. This is a quick practical tip, so let's just get to it. First off, I'll show you how to do a blunt squared end of a tie, and then I will show you how to do that angled corner. Now this method can work for a collar or any kind of thing that you're sewing where you have to turn it right side out and get a nice squared corner. This is the first long end. I'm just going to go all the way to the end. And really, I don't need to tie a knot. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to fold in right on that stitching line. Fold over right there. I'm going to fold down there and finish this end here. So this is how it looks, kind of odd. These sewing portions aren't absolutely necessary. It's just kind of helping my fabric rehearse where it's going to be folded when I turn my tie right side out. The only one I'll have to do manually is this one right here. So back over at the ironing board, here's the piece that I just sewed, and it's just helpful if I can give it a little bit of a press. It's just kind of training the fabric what I want it to do when I fold it right side out. That's what it's going to look like. Now I have these fancy turning tubes. If you don't have these, that's fine. You can do whatever method you learned, whether it's with a safety pin or with a bodkin, whatever it is that you know, to turn it right side out. For me, this one is just way too easy. All right, so just work those corners out a little bit. And they just pop right out. See how nice and square those are? A little press. Yeah, it's so much neater than taking a knitting needle and pushing it down here and just cramming those corners in, because the fabric doesn't know which way to go, but doing it this way, it knows exactly which way to go. So let's hit the one with the angled corner and see what we can do with that one. Here's our tie with the angled corner, so let's get this one started. There's our angle at the end there. There's probably a couple ways we could do this, but I'm just going to do this one flat, and I'll demonstrate how pressing them in instead of sewing them down will be just as effective. Here's our end. Let's hit the ironing board. All right, first we're going to take this corner, and instead of cutting it diagonally like you might have learned in home ec, the reason I don't like to cut it diagonally is because it leaves only just a couple threads between your fabric if you were to poke it out with something. I just think it, I don't know, it just feels unsafe. So I'm going to fold this diagonally back, and you can kind of see that the stitching lines will line up with my stitching lines here. See, the little ones? I'm going to give that a press. Now I'm going to fold this one in this way and press. Now I don't press down the whole length of this portion, just the end. Now the fabric I'm using is a nice thick satin, and I understand sometimes that it might get a little thick. If it feels thick in the corners, go ahead and trim away some of those layers to try to thin it out a little bit. So here we have this folded, and now this little bottom one, just fold on the seam line. Now I know this sharp angled corner here isn't going to be as easy as the squared one that we just did. I am not trying to say that this is easy peasy with no problems, but it's better than just poking with a knitting needle or some other tool to try to pop that corner out. This at least helps give it some guidance and direction. We want corners that look more professional than homemade. Not that homemade is always bad, but sometimes if people see something you're wearing and they say, "Oh, did you make that?" You don't know if it's a compliment or not. Let's just want them to assume that it was something that we purchased at a very nice store. Okay, sometimes you need to have a needle or something to kind of pull out. But you have to be really careful with satin, but we're going to kind of push it out here. There we go. Pop that corner out. Okay. Another press. And there you go. With a thinner fabric like a cotton or something, that will even be crispier. Crisper than that. But that's pretty good. It's not really blobby, it's just a little bit thick in width. But that looks nice. So now we've got the pointy one and we've got the blunt one, and now you are ready to finish all of your holiday sewing. Thanks for joining me today on So Darn Fun. I hope that tip was as helpful for you as it was for me. Don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Now, let's get our sewing done. See you next time.